Ever wake up after what you thought should have been a nice night of sleep and you're still groggy and really tired? You're not broken. It's fixable. Today we're going to go over 3 reasons why you might not be sleeping well and simple ways you can start working on fixing those habits. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Sarah Steffen. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are walking outside, walk with a doc day, and we're talking all about sleep. Sleep is absolutely critical. We need more of it than we tell ourselves, right? As adults, we still need quite a bit of sleep, minimally 7 hours. Some of us need more like 8 or 9, right? I know that I function best on 7.5 to 8, and I'm working really hard. That's one of the habits I'm working hard to improve upon. And man, it's a struggle because a lot to do on a day-to-day basis. And sleep sometimes falls at the bottom of that priority list, which it shouldn't. Because we all know that sleep is really important for our mood, for our quality of health, for our interactions with others, even our lifestyle, like our health, our ability to lose weight, can all depend on how well we're sleeping. So today we're talking about 3 reasons why you might not be sleeping well and waking up refreshed. The first of which is your environment. Your environment needs to be proper. You need to think of your bedroom almost like a cave. It needs to be dark, it needs to be cold, it needs to be pretty quiet. And many of us might have sirens in the background, or light that streams in, or devices that are next to our beds that kind of go off in the middle of the night. That's not good. So I recommend having your room be as dark as possible, right? I know people who go as far as to travel with black electrical tape. And that way, if they're in a hotel and there's a little red light somewhere or something on the TV, they can cover it up. I also know people who have really nice room darkening shades, right? I have some room darkening shades and I love them. Keeps my room dark, especially like when there's a full moon. Man, there's a lot of light that can get let in and that can really disrupt your sleep. I know people who sleep with sound machines. I'm not a big fan of sound machines, but I know a lot of people are, and it can really mask a lot of sounds that can be disruptive during sleep. Now, from a science standpoint, we do know that having too much light in your room can affect your melatonin levels. Now, melatonin is produced by the body, and it's not what helps you sleep, it's what helps you get into the mood to sleep. So it helps set the stage for your body to get into a sleep state. So with this one being said, if you need to, buy some shades, quiet down your room, get it dark, get it quiet, get it cold. Many people sleep with it, in summer especially, sleep with their rooms too warm, and it needs to be a cool environment so your body can really get into that nice, deep, and relaxative and restorative sleep. Reason number 2, you might not be eating great. And you might think, what does food have to do with how I sleep at night? Well, food has to do with everything, first of all. But really, if you're setting yourself up for a blood sugar crash in the middle of the night, that's not going to help you, right? So if you're eating a lot of processed foods, if you're eating a lot of sugar, simple carbs, especially before bed, you're setting yourself up to spike that sugar and insulin level. And then when it falls, maybe around 2 or 3 in the morning, your body is kind of alarmed. It's like, we need another source of sugar. We need more input here. And that's when you wake up. Also, it also relates to your cortisol levels. So again, if you're, not feeding yourself well, your body will wake up and then you're going to have to figure out a way to get back to sleep. So food is really important. Also, if you're waking up in the morning with like joint pains and aches, I think most people just think that's normal. You really shouldn't wake up with aches and pains in the morning. I mean, you should feel restored. I mean, obviously there's sometimes when you might have an injury or something of that nature and you're going to wake up feeling not so great. But for the most part, we should wake up in the morning and not have a whole lot of aches and pains in our joints. So if you are, look at your overall diet. It's not just one meal. It's not just what you're eating one night before dinner, but it's overall. Are you eating a really processed food diet where your inflammation levels are really high? And if that's the case, yeah, you might be waking up in the morning not feeling great because your food is really impacting how your body is responding and functioning. And on the short term, like I said, if you're waking up because you still need to alter your diet and kind of improve your diet, Maybe on the interim, eat a small snack before you go to bed, a high protein snack, maybe like a protein shake or some almond butter or a yogurt, something along those lines, because that can help stabilize that blood sugar. So your blood sugar is not crashing in the middle of the night. Reason number 3 that you might not be sleeping well is an overactive mind because of an increase in stress level. And I think we all go through this at times. I mean, we've all probably struggled with sleep at times. And I want us to pay attention when we come into contact with a pattern and a habit of poor sleeping, right? Every once in a while, we all have a one-off where we don't sleep so well. But if we have a pattern of that, and part of that pattern of not sleeping well or not feeling restored at the end of the night, good night's sleep, is because you're stressed, well, then we might need to do something about that, right? So how does stress impact our sleep? Well, if we're really stressed, we might be in a chronic state of what's called fight or flight. It's our sympathetic nervous system that's in overdrive. I've talked about this before on the channel. And when we're in fight or flight, our body can't slow down, right? We want to get more into that parasympathetic state, the rest and digest, for us to sleep properly. And we get more into that rest and digest by making sure that we maybe turn our screens off, earlier in the evening. Maybe we do some light stretching, some yoga, some deep breathing. There's a number of different, a bath, a number of different ways to really get more into that parasympathetic state, especially before we go to bed. But when we go in, if we can get our body into a more of a relaxed state, obviously we're going to go into our night of sleep on a better level. And hopefully we then can get more restorative deep sleep, more restorative REM, all of that. Our 3 main culprits, our 3 large culprits for not sleeping well can be a poor environment, poor diet and blood sugar regulation, and excess stress. If you think one of those 3 is impacting you, take small steps today. It's always my thing, right? Small hinges, big doors. Whether it's trying a protein snack before you go to bed at night, or maybe it's taking some deep breaths, doing some box breathing. I've talked about box breathing on here before as well. Whatever needs to happen, take that extra few minutes, and also go to bed earlier. Go to bed earlier than you might think you need to go to bed earlier, or to go to bed earlier than you might think you need to go to bed. Because all of us, I promise you, almost all of us, need more sleep than what we're getting right now. Take a step tonight, take another step tomorrow night, see if it all adds up and makes a difference, because I think it will. Those are just 3 things, right? I'm sure you're all going to find others. If you've got questions, put them down below. If you've got a health concern, obviously talk to a healthcare professional, and say, hey, what about this, or what's going on here, or how do I work on this? I may not know you, but I know that most of us, like I said, need more sleep and can make small changes to make big improvements in our sleep and therefore our overall health. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you following along my afternoon walk today. And if you like this, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Got new content that comes out every Monday and Thursday. Thanks, guys.